Good evening everyone and welcome to the SRS GT3 series. We are here for round 7 of the championship as we take in the Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit here in Germany. Happy New Year everyone, it's been a long time since I've been in the commentary book, but for those of you who don't know me, I am James Head. I'm going to be taking you through the action tonight. Thank you to Trevor Holden, of course, SDM_RRDZ, who took you through the action, of course, at Mount Panorama. I was a little bit ill that, and I wanted to spare myself for the 24 hours of F1 the night before, so that's why I didn't make it that 2 weeks ago. We took the Christmas break, and now we're back, of course, for round 7 of the championship. And coming into tonight, it's going to be quite interesting to see how these guys do get on. Let's find the championship leader out on track, if we can. Hopefully he is out on track. And there he is there. He's in the pit lane. TSR T5 Black, of course, taking second place last time out at Bathurst, but still is in the championship lead on 184 points coming into tonight. Palmer is in second. There he is there, Palmer, in second on 146 points. Hopefully he's not going to have any connection issues as we see him go back into the pit lane there. Tice is in third, and where is Tice? There he is, just spinning his way through. Tice in third on 98 points, with Splash in fourth on 92. Then CO in fifth on 71. Marcello in 6th on 59, Herazer in 7th on 47, Volschweitzer in 8th on 36, Doug Barrow in fact is on 42, so he's ahead of them, Volschweitzer in 9th on 36, and then Bo Fischadar in 10th on 37. He is also above Volschweitzer, so them two need moving up in the pit lane. And yes, we're already on our end, which is very good. And the Nurburgring hopefully going to provide some good racing for the guys out on track. Tap in 11th as well on 21, KNK Dot in 12th on 20, then Niera in 13th on 18, Reds in 14th on 16, Superboy in 15th on 12, Bar in 16th on 9, Petrolhead in 17th on 8, and then Viper in 18th on 4 points. Team standings coming into tonight. Qualifying is going to get ahead of schedule by the looks. TSR lead the way on 255 points. Only 16 points separating the two main teams out on track. SRS Motorsports AMG in second on 239 points. They've got to overcome a deficit of essentially 17 points tonight to try and bring it to TSR. Advantage for them is that TSR only has one driver in black, 2 drivers, of course, for the AMG team, being, of course, Tyson Palmer, the main team. Speed Demon Motorsport in third on 92, Costa in fourth on 89. They're 3 points separating, so that's going to be quite close. Top Performance Motorsport in 5th on 37, Sabito in 6th on 36, and then Winding Road Racing in 7th on 33 points. As we have Tice there out on track, Marcello is there as well. Marcello, of course, is another member of the SMM, the SRS Motorsports AMG team, so they're pretty much up 3 drivers, so it looks inevitable, I think, that SRS will probably take the team standings, goodness me, and we don't want to see that in the race. Tice taking Marcello out, going down into the hairpin. These guys have the last little bit of fun, I think, before we get the stream properly underway, before we get qualifying underway. Of course, we're about 2 minutes early at this moment in time. If you do recognise my change up in the voice, by the way, it is because I've got a new mic, and hopefully it's more clearer to you guys, so I want to provide you with the best commentary possible. Qualifying has now started. Volschweitzer tuning in, which is good to see. Happy New Year, of course, to everyone that is tuning in. Let's hope 2021 is going to bring that normality, of course, on Sunday night. And we've got an update for you about the MX5 Championship that's going to be coming for Season 3 at the end of this stream as well. Tice is the first out on track. Probably I don't have to leave going out on track. So Tice is the first man out on track, and there is the race info, and there is the track map there, of course, to the right hand side. I've got my own, so this is going to be quite difficult. The website that I was due to get the track map off has gone totally AWOL in terms of Adobe Flash Player. If you haven't heard about Adobe Flash, some of the websites might be interfered with. There is a pit wall glitch apparently, and that is Viper. Viper is the one that is in the pit lane. So, I think we're going to have a restart in qualifying, if I'm not mistaken. 12 drivers here, which is a really good attendance, of course, for the first race of the new year. And the 7th round of the championship, of course. As I say, it looks like we'll probably get a restart of qualifying. Nobody has set a lap just yet, so I'm imagining, yeah, Tice has just red flagged it, so Viper will be the one. And there you go, he's just left the room there, hopefully restarting, and we're going to get a new lobby by the looks of it as well. So, new lobby, which means hopefully no more issues in terms of the lobbies out on track. It wouldn't be a stream without a few problems, would it? Honestly. Yes, SMM_Shadow is a new driver here within SRS. He's not racing tonight, but he is going to be racing, I think, next week. Nurburgring's not one of his tracks. He is a Slovenian driver, of course. He's a Dutch driver, sorry, I should say. SMM_Shadow. You're going to be seeing him, hopefully, next week for the final 2 rounds of the championship. And Marcello is Formula Marcello, SMM_March, I think he's now known as, of course. That is Marcello. Just to clarify that up, we've got a couple of new drivers going to be joining us as well. Hopefully for the MX5 Championship, which is going to be quite good. SRS Motorsports tuning in as well. Happy New Year to you too. Goals to Sharon Palmer. And Sharon, of course, hopefully not going to be turning off the Christmas lights like she did with Palmer in 2020. We're just waiting for the lobby to load up. I'm not going to show you the title of that lobby because it's quite inappropriate for anybody that might be tuning in that is underage, and I don't want to be in the action. Hopefully there's room for you next week. Yeah, there is room, really, if you're available for this week, to be honest, K&K. We'd love to have you here, of course, next week. And of course, I'm back in the hot seat after 3 weeks of not commentating for SRS, which is quite strange. Just started taking them down. Good. We've already took ours down. We took ours down, I think, on the 27th of December. So about a week ago, I think that what you get with the Christmas lights especially is that the lobby is now up. So I'll join that now. The Christmas lights, certainly what we've got, were put down on the 27th. So it just literally opens up the room, I think, when you take them down. Not sure if anybody feels that way, honestly. You can see I've been driving in the Jaguar as well, expecting lap times in around the 154.5s, I think, maybe towards the upper end of the 54s as well. Could be quite possible from a few drivers out on track tonight. Just getting the rest of the field in. And hopefully we're going to be underway for qualifying very soon indeed. It's not the greatest thing to start off a stream, I've got to be honest, with us having a lobby glitch, but hopefully you're going to still be in for that. Almost had it, Tice, almost had it. He did, he almost had it. Jerez has just left the lobby as well, and I am now going to spectate out on track. There is Tice, we've got Splash, Viper is out on track as well. Hopefully, as the two Americans seem to be having a little bit of fun with each other coming out the pit lane there. Viper and Reds. Reds, of course, in the BMW and spinning its way through turn 1. Definitely not great at all. There is Marcello, by the way, to K&K Dot. SMM_March is now his PSN ID. And hopefully we're going to see some really good action out on track. Just to remind you as well, we are pushing ahead with our plans next season. If you haven't looked at the Discord, we have released our 2021 document, SRS New Year, New Beginnings. And I have had the major input, I think, in all of that. And obviously with Tice being unilaterally in agreement with the way forward for SRS, we're hoping to try and expand as much as possible this season. Given that we're still in a pandemic situation, given that sim racing is going to be going places, we are going to be trying to push the boundaries out very soon indeed. Whether you see another season of the GT3s on GT Sport remains to be seen. Hopefully we will. We've got the MX5s, of course, for Season 3. I'll come on to more information about that at the end. Qualifying, though, is about to begin. I do like teasing you guys and girls here in tuning in for the stream tonight. As we get the first man out on track, and it might be the case where the camera might have to pick him up. But there is Tice, first out on track. And out on in car number 78, Splash there just taking the wide-out line to run down through turn 1. And looking at Viper. Yeah, Viper is out on track now. So I don't think we've got a pit glitch, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, no pit glitch, so we are good to go in terms of qualifying. And Tice is the first man out on track. And we should be expecting that time to say 154s, slipstream possible 153s, really late 153s I would say, if that was to be the case. But it is quite a twisted circuit. And if you have seen Nurburgring before, especially in Formula 1, 2020 of course ran the Eiffel Grand Prix around this track. And the Nurburgring has not really changed since 2002-2003. And while I'm on the case as well, we're about to come up to a corner that is named after Michael Schumacher. We'd like to wish, of course, Michael Schumacher a very happy 52nd birthday as well from everyone here at SRS, continuing to recover, of course, from that horrible, horrible skiing accident that he had 7 years ago now. And hopefully he is going to be on the mend very soon, and hopefully we'll see him in the public eye and public domain, certainly in the not too distant future. But happy birthday to Michael Schumacher, the 7 times Formula 1 world champion, of course, and Hamilton, of course, joining him with 7 titles as well. There's been a bit of drama actually on the Hamilton front. Apparently he's demanding more wage, so that might be holding up contract talks for Mercedes, I've heard. But it's from an Italian source. Don't trust the Italians, apart from Marcello, who of course is in the lobby. Tice then, about to start us off on a lap, and we'll try and catch up on board with him as we go through the laps. So Tice now around the final corner, 2 minutes pretty much for an outlap around here. We see the run down the straight, down towards turn 1. Penalty zone, by the way, will come on to when he comes onto a lap. Now Tice run down towards turn 1. Cracking very hard, just have the 100-metre board, turns in very nicely indeed, off the camber of the corner, and now through turn 2, this left-hander filtering through. This is the corner that I can never get right. He's done that very nicely indeed, and now through turns 3, and then up towards turn 4 as well. Don't hit the wall on the right-hand side there. You can't get too close to the wall if you take a really shoddy line. Tice running out wide, we're all allowed to do that, and now through the first sector to 35.4, really good first sector from Tice. I was managing 157s earlier on, so they're showing me up already. Tice now through turn 6, and this is where the penalty zone is going to be here tonight, on the run down towards the hairpin at turn 7. So after turn 6, the drivers will pull to the right hand side or to the left hand side. If they're not around anyone, they can do it pretty much anywhere they want, even on the racing line, and serve up their penalty, whatever it is. And they've got to serve that, of course, on the same lap. I'll keep on reiterating that throughout tonight. You see through the Schumacher curve, Tice really going for it through there, 125 mile an hour gained. As he now, just before the 100-metre board breaks, in third gear, 80 mile an hour, and then again down to about 80 mile an hour through here, through the right-hander, and now down the hill. 125 flat through the middle sector from Tice. Looking like a really good lap. He's got Splashing behind him, both for Shadara and Viper also on lap times behind him as well. Catching ball with how our championship leader is getting on soon as well. But Tice now through the chicane. There's 2 chicanes, by the way, to this track. There's the one where the GT3 layout takes for the Blancpain series, and there's the GP layout, which is what we're running here tonight after the Formula 1. Tice round the final corner, now to the line, and it's a 154.8. Nice lap there from Tice. Viper, I think, and Red's into the pit lane. I wonder if Viper's had a bit of a spin actually out on track, because Palmer just got interfered there as we came on board, and Palmer has gone 4th. Petrolhead 5th, Viper 6th, Splash, both for Shadara. Marcello across the line goes 3rd. Let's see what Black's doing across the line. He comes, and a 154.6 even takes him to the top of the standing. So Black already, of course, in the Mercedes, and very nice indeed. He is now on top. Of course, he has switched to the Mercedes actually since we last saw him, or since I last commentated on him, of course, from the Dodge Viper to the Mercedes. And that brings a little bit about of a level playing field, I think, because Tice now in the Mercedes, Splash in the Mercedes, Marcello and Palmer, and a few others as well, Doug and Hair Racer certainly as well. They're all in the Mercedes, and they're trying to dominate, I think. Mercedes is going to be the chief manufacturer, I think, in SRS going forward. Tice through the middle sector, 2 tenths down. We're halfway through qualifying if you are just tuning in. Black on top, Tice in 2nd. Splash in 3rd position. Marcello 4th. Bow in 5th, with Palmer 6th. Petrolhead in 7th. And then Doug in 8th position. Just having a look. Yes, Splash did really nail his performance. I was catching up on board actually with the racing from Mount Panorama. You might have seen me in the Discord as well, giving out a few penalties. But Splash drove a really good race that day. On the podium, finishing in 3rd position, was really happy. He has been struggling mentally as well in recent days and recent weeks as well. It's all tough for everyone, I think, really, in the pandemic. But Splash really has came alive, I think, this season. That car and that driver just get on very well indeed. He's third currently. Marcello behind him in fourth. Marcello will be aiming to come into the pit lane here as well. Shadow saying Daimler declined a 50 million offer. They offered 45 million, which is quite interesting. And Ken K also saying SMM top drivers are joining the league. Yeah, really, really good to see. And I think I thank everybody from Sidemax, of course, who are getting involved with SRS moving forward. Hopefully, it might be the sign of things to come, possibly with the management side. Who knows? Black on top, though. Tyson second, Splash in third, as we are about 4 minutes away from qualifying. There's both for Shadara in the Audi, and Bo, of course, has Tap set an improvement. Doug as well improved to 8th, 56 flat, Tap 57.7. I think that puts him down at the back of the field. But there's Bo for Shadara, and Bo, of course, was running the McLaren before the Christmas break, and now has swapped to the Audi. Looks a really nice Audi, I've got to be honest as well. Got a few nice, well-known brands to the left-hand side of him on the livery. As he now runs down. I wonder if he's sponsored by White Cloud Copper Company, or White Cloud Coffee Company. I wonder if he's sponsored by them by any chance out on track. It's not really a coffee-coloured car, is it, to be honest? But he's down in the middle sector there, so we'll ride on board with Petrolhead. Petrolhead making his return in the Jag. After a few races out, he did say to me that he was retiring from the rest of the season. But he is back tonight, and it's good to see him back as well. Hopefully, his driving standards will be a lot better, and hopefully, because there's no Superboy about, we're not going to see a repeat of Sardinia a few races ago. Doug there in the Mercedes is on a lap, and he's now coming at the top of the hill, running down the hill. 1.4 seconds off Black's time currently, still Black out on top, 4 tenths down from Doug. Viper there in the Viper behind him as well. He's on an out lap, so we'll try and pinpoint who our first man is coming around the final couple of corners. Splash is going to come into the pit lane, I think. And oh, actually, he jukes Tice a little bit there. Buffish Dava, though, was into the pit lane. So that means first out on track will be Splash, and Splash now comes around the final corner. Everyone pretty much on their final laps now, unless they come across the line with about 8 seconds to spare, which some drivers might do. Splash now coming down. Both for Shadara has to get out of the way. He is going to be held up though, so I don't think he's going to get another lap in with 1 minute and 50 seconds to go out on track. He's going to have to get out of the way of everyone as now Splash comes through turn 2. Tice right on the back of him as well, so we'll try and ride on board with both of these at the same time if we can. It looks like Tice, to be honest, is looking quicker than Splash already, and that slipstream effect might happen, but through the corners he's going to be picking up the dirty air. It's going to lose him a lot of time, I think, in the Mercedes. Both of them, though, are in Mercedes, so that's the pinpoint there. Red goes up into 6th. Good lap time there, 55.5, out on track from the American in the BMW. So Tice there around turn 6. And Splash, in fact, gets out of the way of Tice, knowing that he is quicker, and Tice now on the run down towards the hairpin at turn 7. Brakes just after the 50-metre board, turns in very nicely indeed. Splash just messing up his braking point there, slightly in behind, but Tice through the middle sector, 3,000s up. So he is improving. I wonder what Black's doing out on track as well. Black is on the other side of the track at the minute, so we'll try and pinpoint where he might be. He's coming into the hairpin now, so we'll ride on board with him and see what his middle sector split is, and then we can compare what the two of them are doing. Black, he's 1700s up, so he is improving. Tice then needs to find 0.2 of a second in this sector alone to try and have a chance. He's a 10.5 up, so he is responding, is Tice. We'll carry on board with him, and then we'll go to Black, and then we'll go to Palmer as well, who I know is in behind as well. But Tice now running up in towards the hairpin, brakes just after the 100-metre board. Really has to get the car turned in second gear, cuts across the curve nicely, and now towards the final couple of corners. Through the Coca-Cola curve at turn 15, Tice rounding the final corner. Can he power it to the line? 154.6 to beat across the line, and he does beat it. 54.4, and now Black is going to try and respond. Black is on a lap. What's everyone else going to do? Petrolhead improves, Viper improved, Petrolhead up to 5th, really good lap time from him. Palmer's only down 54.8. It's a shocking lap from Palmer. Black, though, round the final corner. Can Tice put it on pole, or is it Black? It's Black by 200ths of a second. Really, really late on indeed. We've got Tap now coming around the final couple of corners as well. We should see improvements to the left-hand side. Hairraiser improves his lap time, but doesn't improve his position. Tap is not going to get another lap in, it seems, either. So Tap across the line doesn't get another lap in. Doug is on a lap. We've got Viper parked off. Reds is round the final corner. He is on a lap, but doing a fantastic job as now Red's through the final corner. Didn't improve on this time, he jumps down to 8th. Buffer Shadara is going to be one of the first to come across the line. He is looking to try and improve. Black, though, out on top. Tyson 2nd. Palmer 3rd, by the way, with a 54.8. I thought it was a shocking lap. He was down. For me, certainly when he came across the line, he was down in about 8th position. But there we are. Palmer 3rd, Splash in 4th. We'll run above with Buffer Shadara, though. Oh, and he gets the Schumacher S. Really wrong. Kicks up a lot of gravel coming through there. He might be the only driver actually on a lap. He's picked up a 5:10 penalty as well. It's not going to help his cause. And I think as he comes through the right-hander, he might have just backed off this slightly, and he has. Buffer Shadara has backed off this lap. He was 7/10ths down at the time. Petrolhead 6/10ths down. Marcello's finished off a lap. I'm just trying to see if there's anybody else that is on a lap. Viper is through the S section. He's not improving. Neither's Doug. Don't think Hair Razor is either. Splash, though, is on a lap. And he will not be improving. I think everyone is done. Not sure if there's anybody else to improve, but I think everyone is done in terms of a lap time. And it is Black. That man there in the Mercedes. Out on top. Tyson 2nd. Palmer 3rd. Splash in 4th. Marcello in 5th. Top 5. All Mercedes. See a recurring theme in SRS? Yeah, I do. Black on top from Tyson 2nd, 200th of a second, in fact, separating the top 2. Palmer there in 3rd with Splash in 4th, Marcello in 5th. There's Petrolhead in 6th, Buffer Shadara 7th, Reds in 8th, qualifying is now end of Viper 9th, Doug 10th, Hair Razor 11th, and Tap in 12th. Top 7 separated by just less than a second. As now we come to the Nurburgring. Round 7 of the championship is about to begin. And hopefully we're going to see some really good racing out on track tonight. Remember, Black leads by 38 points coming into tonight. He has got the advantage over Palmer. Tyson behind him. It's going to be a fascinating affair out on track. 7 other drivers, of course, in the Mercedes. We should see the red light sequence come on very soon indeed. I will have to nip out, though, at the start of this race to go back into spectate mode. And now the legs are on here in the Nürburgring for round 7 of the championship. And full start from both Black and Tyson. It's lights and away we go, and it's carnage off the start. Marcello has a lot of wheel spin. Black, Palmer, goodness me, running down towards turn 1. Splash leading the way. Splash leading the way from Petrolhead in 2nd. Tyson 3rd. A disastrous start from both Tyson. Black and Petrolhead's been spun. Racing standards already. Reds has been spun as well in the background. Absolute carnage early on. Black, though, down into 7th. There's going to be a lot of investigation, I'm sure, after that stop. Black now down to 8th. Really struggling. But it's Splash who leads the way from Tyson 2nd. How's Tyson 2nd after his jump stop? Buffer Shadara 3rd, Viper in 4th, Doug in 5th, Marcello in 6th, Petrolhead in 7th, and the front 6 are getting away by 2.5 seconds. Petrolhead in 7th, Black in 8th, Palmer down to 9th. Palmer's had an awful start as well. Harry's a 10th, Tap in 11th, Red's there in 12th with a 5/10 penalty as well. Those would be the least of his concerns. He can get into that, though, in the BMW. I will just nip out so I can get the camera angles. And it is Tice, right on the back of Splash. And Tice is looking quicker than Splash now, coming up the hill through the Schumacher S for the first time. Fly through there. Buffer Shadara 3rd. Viper in 4th. Viper's had a really good start in the Viper appropriately. There is the Dodge. So now come on board with him. Coming through, you can see how unstable that car really is. As he now runs wide nearly onto the grass. Coming through turn 11. And now on the run up the straight. Tice now looking to Splash. 3.5 tenths separating as they come up towards the chicane for the first time. Splash leading Tyson 2nd, both in 3rd, Viper in 4th. Braking very late, and Splash has gone too deep, and that promotes Tyson to the lead of the race. Tice with the feather down the inside. He's through. It's like the partner of the Red Sea off the curb. Tice is through and he's into the lead. Splash falls into a mistake early. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. And now Bo right on the back. We see the snake action in right effect, so they can really run with the slipstream running down the straight. Bo has got the run on Splash. Can he get the move done? Possibly down in towards turn 1. They come into our camera shot now. Bo is down the inside line, but he doesn't go for the move, and Splash remains 2nd for now. Viper, Doug's had a really good start actually from further down the grid. Marcello is in there in 6th, just dropping off the pace slightly, and now Black and Palmer have now gone past on Petrolhead. Black running wide there. Palmer in 8th, Petrolhead in 9th. Absolute disaster for the start. Viper has picked up a 5-10 penalty. I think he got forced into a mistake there as well by Doug. And now Marcello's all over the back of him as well. They've run down towards turn 5 once again for the second time. Marcello right on the back. Really dramatic stuff going on here so far in the Nurburgring. Marcello right on the back of Viper, but it is Tice who leads. And there is Viper pulling to the right-hand side, serves up his penalty, and now he'll get going again. I think he'll rejoin, maybe just ahead of Palmer, maybe just ahead of Petrolhead. No, he's ahead of Palmer, so he stays in a really respectable 7th position. Palmer there in 8th, Petrolhead in 9th. Here is a tap, and Reds, after that spin, down in 12th, but he is catching these guys. Tice then leading the way up the hill, and you can see the effect that the slipstream is really having out on track. Splash there in 2nd, both for Star 3rd, Doug in 4th, Marcello now in 5th. As they come down the hill once again, Tice looks like he's controlling the race though, out in front of the Dutchman from the Brit. Splash in 2nd, and there's another Brit of Bo in 3rd. Really shoddy, foggy skies as we come up towards the chicane at turns 12 and 13. Doug getting under pressure now by Marcello, and look at Black after that jump start really coming into play on. Bolfashadara has spun and he's taken out Marcello. That is dramatic circumstances. I think Bo has just lost it on the outside curb and Marcello's got damage. Wrong place, wrong time. He came spearing across the track, did Bo, and Marcello down to 10th. That's going to be looked into, certainly. Petrolhead now on the back of Palmer, running down in towards turn 1. Can he get the move done? No, he can't. Viper was very close to the back of Black as well, so Black's now up to 4th. Viper is now somehow up to 5th again. Palmer 6th, Petrolhead in 7th. There was Marcello and Bo, both of them having a bit of a moment. Wish we had the replay cams for you. I haven't got a keyboard to hand to provide you with the replay cams, but we will look at that, I'm sure, later on. Palmer trying to get onto the back of Viper, and look at Hellraiser trying to put out the slipstream to try and get a move done on Petrolhead. Not quite enough, but the lead is quite close actually. Tice leading by 0.8 of a second, and Splash there in 2nd. And these two now have it between themselves, with Doug there in 3rd. Doug doing a fantastic job so far. Black there in 4th, Viper in 5th. Palmer there in 6th. There's Petrolhead. Oh, Hellraiser gives him a little bit of a tap through the hairpin there. He's right on the back of him, running up towards the Schumacher S for the 3rd time. So Hellraiser right on the back of Petrolhead. Mercedes against Jag. Two spearheads, of course, of the manufacturers. And Jag, of course, are not going to be going into Formula 1. It's Aston Martin I'm thinking of that's going into Formula 1 this season. Hellraiser, though, right on the back of the Jag of Petrolhead. Of course, Jag used to have a Formula 1 team back in the day. And Bullshrites is saying maybe went one tyre on the grass. Yeah, left rear tyre, I think. Yeah, I think he's just lost it on the curb with the tyre. He's probably got a little bit greedy on the curb, and that's why he spun. I think he's in relation there to Bolfashadara. And, yeah, really, really good indeed out on track. Hellraiser, though, trying to put Petrolhead under pressure. Looking further up the field, though. Tice holding the advantage. About 600 of a second as he comes down in towards turn 1. Splash there in 2nd. Black now is up to 3rd. I wonder what happened to Doug. I think he got overtaken. And now Hellraiser's down on the inside line. Very late on the brakes to Petrolhead. And he has to cut across the curb almost. Nearly. Car 69 against Petrolhead, of course, on the inside line. And Petrolhead's through. So Petrolhead back through. Car 44 through, and he's up into 7th. Jag fighting off the Mercedes. Mercedes coming back down the inside. Gives a little bit of a tap there to Petrolhead. Or a little bit of an off-put, actually, to Petrolhead, I should say. And now Hellraiser's right on the back of him. And look, from a bumper cam, he's now right alongside as he comes down. Turn 5, this is very difficult to go around the outside of. And Hellraiser has to back out, and it's still Petrolhead 7th. Hellraiser in 8th. Hellraiser tries to get the move done. But he's got to be wary that it's a long race and the tyres are already beginning to go off out on track. We were speaking early on, I think we're going to see a 3-stop strategy possibly out on track tonight from the guys of 8 laps per stint. So think of it, 8 times 4, essentially, the first stint, second stint, third stint. It's going to be about 32 laps we should get out of this race, I would imagine. That's certainly what we had, I think, when I last covered the action here at Nurburgring, certainly. Az, right on board. Splash, right on the back now of Tice, running up the hill. See who's got the better setup in terms of the closing speed. Tice has got the advantage running into the chicane. Looking very nice through there. Tice leading from Splash there in second. Black though hunting them down. There is Black just in behind of the glare. Cone there in the way of the track. Somebody has to get rid of that. But now Splash eyeing up his best opportunity possibly to try and get Tice. He sets a personal best, 55 flat. Black though has just gone even quicker, 54.6 in behind. He's trying to catch these two guys. Still Tice and Splash for turns 1 and 2 pretty much complete. Tice still in first, Splash there in second. Palmer just lagging slightly there out on track. Hopefully the Christmas lights are not interfering. Petrolhead, Hair Raiser. Marcello's trying to get onto the back of this as well, so it could be a 4-car battle for 6th. Palmer really struggling, I think, tonight with a really promising grip position. He got out of place, of course, after the carnage of lap 1, and now puts Hair Raiser right on the back of Petrolhead, and now Petrolhead's under pressure. Could he look to the inside line, Hair Raiser? No, Petrolhead very late on the brakes. He's much later than Hair Raiser, and actually he gains on Palmer and all of that as well. So the Jag against the two Mercedes, in a bit of a Mercedes sandwich here, if I've got to be honest. But Petrolhead has looked quick on occasions this season. That car is really quick around this track, and it might just outgun the Mercedes. Certainly, he's just going to be careful on his braking because he doesn't want to overcommit the braking. But it's certainly putting Palmer under a lot of pressure. Now Palmer's actually made a mistake, and Petrolhead sides his way down the inside through the Schumacher-S. I think Palmer didn't have the run, and Petrolhead is through and he's up into 6th. Really good move there by Petrolhead. Palmer just didn't have the run, and now Hair is on the inside line of him. And now Palmer is dropping down the field. Marcello forced out wide, tries to go around the outside of Hair Raiser, doesn't quite manage it. But we'll take on board with his point of view to see what's going to be unfolding just ahead. And we've also got a battle of Viper and Doug. Viper in the Viper against Doug in the Mercedes. Down the inside goes Viper. No, Doug holds on to the position for 4th. Pretty good racing, and Black's catching the front two as well. Palmer shoves Petrolhead coming through the corner. Hair Raiser dropping off now, Marcello dropping off. So could be that we're seeing two-way battles for 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th. Out on track, and now side by side comes Doug and Viper down the straight. Viper should have the run down on the inside line here. They're nearly touching down into the braking zone at turn 1. Doug is a lot later on the brakes, but Viper has the inside line and Viper's through. Down the inside line, really good driving between them both there. And the Viper is through and he's up into 4th. And gets that move done. A brilliant move, brilliant driving as well between them both. That's what we like to see, good respect. And no banging wheels out on track. That is what we like to see. Tice there in the lead of the race. 4/10 of a second from Splash in second. There is Black in third. And look how Black is catching Marcello, by the way. Set the new fastest lap of the race as Palmer. What is going on here? Marcello tries to go around the outside. Palmer has really lost out. Hair Raiser and Marcello are now through. So Palmer is dropping down the field like an absolute fly out on track. Something must be amiss, maybe with his wheel. As Hair Raiser now tries to go side by side with Petrolhead trying to go around the inside of the hairpin. We come on board with the action. I just saw on the left hand side Palmer dropping down, and that's why I came back. Palmer's definitely got an issue, I think. Or is he saving fuel? If he's saving fuel, he's dropping a lot of positions out on track. Something is really going on, I think, from Palmer's perspective. And now Marcello on the back of Hair Raiser tries to look to the inside line. Not quite. He tries to get the outside line now coming through turn 11. And switch it to the inside. Hair Raiser parks it on the inside apex. All of this is letting Petrolhead ahead get away. And now the two Mercedes about to do a ding-dong battle. Running up the straight. Palmer is definitely saving fuel. He's dropping a mile off these guys. And now Marcello to the inside line on Hair Raiser. Tries to get the move done. Hair Raiser overcommits. I think this might be Marcello's position once on the exit of the corner. Bit of a moment there from Doug as well, who's now down to 5th. And now Marcello dives it down the inside line through the final corner. Can he get the move done? Yes, he can. Hair Raiser gave him the room, invited him for that position, to be honest. And Marcello is back through, and he's up into 7th. But now Hair Raiser, is he going to get the move done for 8th position for 7th position once again? Palmer really dropping down the field. He's been overtaken by Bull, and Hair Raiser tries to go around the outside line. Not quite. Marcello 7th, Hair Raiser 8th. Both for Shadara in 9th. Palmer really dropping down the field. Must be saving fuel. He has to be saving fuel out on track. That's the only reason I could assume why he's dropping down the field. He looks really slow, if I've got to be honest, though, out on track, and he's getting caught by Reds and by Tap as well. Tice though leading the way. It's a three-way battle as Splash nearly runs out wide. Coming off the run down through turn 6 there. Black now on the back. Three-way battle for the lead, 1.2 seconds, nearly 15 minutes gone. And you're in the company of myself, James Head, for the first race in 2021 here in the SRS GT3 series. It's Tice who leads, Splash in second, and TSR T5 Black, our champion, in fact. Palmer further down the field, but Black, of course, outperforming these guys now, and he's within a second of the lead. Palmer's throttle pedal is throttling and is flickering from half to full throttle. So I wonder that is an issue. I'd said either wheel or fuel. So it's the former rather than the latter. Here comes Black now on the back of Splash. Can he look to the inside line? Running to the hairpin. He's very late on the brakes. Says Black. Can he get the car stopped? Using a bit of a braking marker. They're still side by side. I think Black's got the traction out the corner, but Splash is not going to give up this position lightly. To the inside line. To the outside line goes Black, and Black, surely with the traction, is going to get the move done, but no. They're still side by side. Splash now has to commit to go back into that slipstream and then get the run down in towards turn 1. That's exactly now what he does. Commentator always right, and now Splash to the inside line. Can he get the move done? No, Black is a lot later on the brakes. He overcommits the car. In fact, Splash overcommits himself as well. And now Black is through and he's up into second, and Splash through and he's up into third. Really good battle there. Good defensive running there from the Splash to try and regain that move. But Black is through and he's up into second. Really, really good indeed out on track. Let's go on board with Palmer. Palmer into the pit lane. He is doing something unorthodox. He has got wheel issues. So hopefully he won't lose any more time. It might be the case where he will have to get this wheel fixed. And that's exactly what he's doing, I think. He might be trying to disconnect and reconnect the wheel back up. Absolute disaster. He's in second position in the championship. To be honest, actually I've just clicked on. If Black wins this, Palmer finishes down there in 12th position. I think Black's going to win the championship tonight. I think Black will win the championship. It's 38 points coming into tonight. Palmer all the way down there in 12th, fixing a wheel issue. He's half a lap down already. I cannot see him getting this car going again and overtaking everyone toward the end of the race. If he does, then he's an absolute miracle worker. But Marcello currently 5th. Petrolhead 6th, Doug in 7th. And Palmer looks like he's retiring. Palmer looks like he is retiring out on track, which is so unfortunate, and that might have just handed the championship even before we end the race to Black. 38 points. Is it? I'm thinking it's actually the 25 points for the Formula 1. It's not. It's a different point system, so it might be different, but you never know. Tice then is into the pit lane from the lead of the race. So he comes in earlier than Black, earlier than Splash as well, and now that promotes Black into the lead of the race, and Black, of course, was 9th on lap 1, and now he's into the lead of the race. Everything, fortune favours the brave out on track. If the issue can't be fixed, if the issue is the pedals, he can't fix it mid-race. So that's good insight there from KenK. Tice, coming well out ahead of Hair Razor there. And he's only 10 seconds off the lead. He's on fresher tyres. He should begin to pit. Palmer now being lapped. So I think that is it. That's game over for Palmer, possibly. Blackville leading the way from Splash in second. Viper third, Tyson fourth. Drama-filled race to begin 2021 here in the SRS GT3 series. We've only got 2 more races after this as well. Hair Razor 5th, Bullfisher Dara in 6th. And he's getting chased down now by Marcello, who's also got Doug on the case as well. Both of them have just been into the pit lane as well. And of course, we go to the Red Bull Ring and we go to Spa for the final 2 rounds of the championship. So we take on a bit of European tour from Nurburgring tonight, Red Bull Ring next week, and then Spa the week after. And then we begin once again. The SRS GT3 series will come, hopefully after the MX-5, which I'll come on to, as I say, at the end of the race. Palmer cannot get that car fix at all. He's a lap down. He may as well just retire and join me in the commentary box, to be honest. With he's 13, he's what? We're 17 minutes through. He may as well join me, to be honest. I can't see him getting back into contention at all. Black the lead from Splash in second position. Viper third, Tyson fourth. Harry's there in 5th. Marcello 6th. Quite a point of the race, I think. Bullfisher Dara now down to 7th. And Doug chasing him down. I think Bo has actually overtaken Doug, if I'm not mistaken. Here comes Doug, though, on the back of Bo. Audi against Mercedes. You would favour the former rather than the latter, I think, in this case. The Mercedes now on the back of the Audi. Takes it to the outside line. Bo is not going to be that great on the brakes. And Doug just decided to let him through. But now he's got Petrolhead all on the case behind him. And Petrolhead, of course, making a good comeback here tonight. Could he be within a shout of a very, very good top 5 finish? I wonder if that will come true for him. Top, by the way, is into the pit lane. The Canadian from the back of the field, from 11th out on the track. He's now down in towards turn 1. Doug to the outside line, trying to get the move done. Oh, Petrolhead overcommits the car. He gives Doug a little bit of a shove to say sorry, and he remains in position. So 7th, 8th, 9th, Petrolhead. Palmer, by the way, is back out on track, which is good to see. He's not giving up lightly. And Palmer now a lap down, pretty much 2 laps down in fact now, because there is Black, there is Palmer, and he's going to be 2 laps down in a second. Splash there, second, Viper in third. And of course, no safety cars or anything can be deployed on this game, so it's all going to be really interesting towards the end of the race. But what I can say, though, is Black's getting away out in front. 2.5 seconds is the gap. The more gap he pulls out now to Tice, who's now 9 seconds off him, the more he will gain towards the end of the race. Really bad luck for Palmer, and it's the G29 pedals that it's been put down to, apparently, that issue. And the throttle is still flickering. He's back into the pit lane. Yep, throttle's still flickering on my screen as well. Palmer into the pit lane. I wonder if this is the end. Palmer into the pit lane. So unfortunate. It is Black, though, who does lead the race. He stays out another lap at least. Yeah, Palmer retires out on track. So unfortunate. He may as well come and join me in the commentary box now for 20 minutes in. Splash into the pit lane. The Splash will aim to come probably behind the likes of Marcello, behind the likes of Hair Racer as well. In fact, he's going to come behind Viper, I think, coming out of the pit lane. So Splash there in 4th. And Hair Racer been into the pit lane as well. So Black leading Tyson 2nd, Viper in 3rd. I wonder where Splash is going to rejoin. He's going to rejoin in 4th. Quite easily, in a lot of clear air. It's going to help him a lot towards the end of the race. Marcello there in 5th. He's pulling away from Petrolhead. Petrolhead now under pressure. And now Bo is under pressure from Doug. Down the inside line. Here they come down towards turn 1. Doug on the outside line on lap 11. Out of however many laps here. We're only 20 minutes through. Doug to the inside line. Gets the move done. Through he goes, and he's up into 7th. Pretty good move there on Bo. Switched it back down the inside. How do you like them apples? Doug goes through, and he's up into 7th. Really good stuff. Bo now 8th. Red in 9th. Red's actually recovering well. He has pitted in already, I believe, given that he's on a fresh set of rubber. And Red is responding well after that spin. Really taking my eye towards the longer term effects of this race. Doug trying to get onto the back though. Everything down at the front end is quite stale and stable at this moment in time. Doug though, Bo, 6th, 7th and 8th, trying to chase down Petrolhead, of course, these two. And Bo running out wide. He will have to come into the pit lane. Those rear tyres look absolutely shot. The right rear especially takes quite a bit of a pounding, to be honest, around this track, because it is so speed-worthy in this middle sector. The rear tyres really take effect because you're pretty much throttling the car, so the back end steps out at pretty much every corner, and that's why you'll see with Bo, he manages to control the car through there. But sometimes, like there, that's where the rear tyres begin to give up, and that's why Bo was dropping the time to Doug, because Doug's on fresher tyres as well. He's trying to gain on Petrolhead ahead of him. It's 2.5 seconds. Viper then into the pits from 3rd. So the American into the pit lane from 3rd position. And he should be within the top 5 position, I think, when he comes out of the pit lane here. He'll put on about 60 litres worth of fuel, I would imagine. There's a whole gaggle of cars coming past the commentary position here. I wonder if he's going to rejoin right in this gaggle of cars. He's filled up a lot more. So he's back out of the track, and he's behind Doug, I think. Yeah, Doug is just ahead of him. So Viper rejoins in 7th, Doug in 6th. So Doug, as Matt Finnan has pointed there in the comments section, yeah, really good job by Doug. He's chasing down Petrolhead as well. I wonder if Petrolhead just made a slight mistake. 1.5 seconds now in the gap. It was 2.5 the last time I looked. Doug, though, could be within a chance of a top 5 position. Doing a fantastic job. It's quite wide open, I think, to be honest. We've got Black leading, who will inevitably overcut everyone. He could manage a 2-stop, to be honest. Looking at the time, he could try and manage a 2-stop towards the end of the race. But Black leading, Tyson second, Splash in third, Marcello fourth, Doug though right on the back. Sorry, Viper still all over the back, I should say, of Doug. I thought he was gaining on Petrolhead for a minute there. The Audi is destroying the tyres compared to everyone else. Yeah, he hasn't been into the pit lane either, has Bo. He's just been into the pit lane there now, but he hasn't been into the pit lane before that. So I wonder what that was, him trying to maintain those tyres out for 2-stop rather than a 3-stop strategy, as some guys might have predicted. Here comes Black though into the pit lane from the lead of the race. It's 6.4 seconds as he comes into the pit lane. Shorter pit lane, of course, than the final corner around here, so we'll gain him just that half a second or so. He should rejoin, I think, in second position as Splash is coming through the chicane. Marcello tries to chase him down as well. Marcello hops over the curb there, catching Splash. Marcello's in with a good chance here of a top 3 possibly, if he does the 3-stop strategy, which might be towards the end quicker. But Black there, coming out of the pit lane. He's going to rejoin just ahead of Splash. There is Splash. There is Black. It's going to be very close on pit lane exit. And Black, I think, is just going to be ahead compared to Splash. Well timed there by Black. And now Splash will try and get the overrun through turn 2. He's not going to give up on this position lightly at all. Tries to go around the outside of turn 2. On the leader of the championship. Splash around the outside. Tries to get the move done through turn 2. He slots back in and Black is back through and he's up into second. Splash now third. Marcello fourth. Petrolhead in fifth. Really good racing out on track. Black second. Splash in third. Now down into the braking point once again. Through turns 4 and 5. Through 5 and 6 even. I can't count. Splash all over the back. Splash is doing a really good job, I think. He's really came of age of himself, I think, so far this season in the SRS GT3 series, and has been putting in consistent performance after performance. Even if he is top 5 every week, it's still consistency. Consistency is key to try and get a really good advantage towards the end of the race. Black though, second. Splash in third at this moment in time. Just going to check in on see where Palmer is at and see if he does want to join me in comms. We're right on board though with the back, with this battle for second between Black and Splash. And look at the gap, 12.4 seconds. Tice is leading over Black, but more time that Black gains on the possible 2-stop strategy, the more that Tice will lose towards the end of the race. So I think Black might have produced another overcut strategy of perfection. Splash in third. Marcello trying to gain as well. Looking further down the field. Yeah, nothing much to report, so we'll keep on board with this battle for second for now. It's now running down and towards turn 1. Splash tries to get the run on Black. Not quite close enough. And 2 Mercedes still fighting out for second and third. Mercedes 1, 2, 3, 4 currently out on track. Black runs wide. Splash now tries to get the run. Down through turn 3. Oh, Black, goodness me, that was a half kick out and that was a half moment and half moment there from Splash. Goodness me, he ran wide coming through turn 3. Lovely kick out of the back end there. And Splash now has to still hold on tight for third. Marcello in fourth. Marcello catching in fourth, but it's only because he's got less fuel and he's pretty much got fresher tyres than certainly Petrolhead and certainly Viper around him. It'll be quite interesting, I think, this race towards... I missed when everyone pitted. Yeah, everyone has been into the pit lane at least once, and I believe it's going to be a 2-stop strategy from some of the drivers. Some of them pitted in before the 20-minute mark. So that, to me, as Marcello gets out there, catches the gravel coming through the Schumacher S, he is still trying to get on the back of Splash and Black, but Tice still holding the advantage. He'll be coming into pit lane, I think, very soon indeed. And out on track, Tice leading by 12.3 seconds out on track. A really good advantage to have at this point in the race. Whether it's a good advantage to have at the later stages of the race is another thing, because I think, from not mistaken, I think Tice is on a 3-stop. Black, behind him, on a 2-stop. Watch out for that later on in the race. Splash once again, tries to gain onto the back of Black, but it's not quite close enough. Viper, though, is close enough to the back of Petrolhead, running down towards turn 1. Viper quite quick, but it is mullered by the straight line speed of that Jag. And the Jag is going to hold on. Down in towards turn 1, you see the braking lights come on. He's ran wide, actually, Petrolhead coming through turn 1. Viper with a much better exit out of turn 1. And now it switches to the inside line. And does Petrolhead realise he's coming? Yes, he does. Viper through. Viper on the inside line. Should get this move done. And he's through. So Viper through on Petrolhead. And he's through and he's up into 5th. Really good move there by Viper. Really good driving as well by Petrolhead defensively as well. But Viper through. And he's up into 5th. Fresher tyres. More fuel. Simple as that. He's through and he's up into 5th. Petrolhead now into 6th. And Doug getting chased down by Reds. Reds is really lasting out on this strategy out on track. The American will be hoping to try and gain towards the end of this race. There's Hellraiser in 9th, Bullfish Dollar, by the way, in 10th. Tap there in 11th position. Tap really off the pace here. But it is Tice who leads, and we are nearly halfway through the SRS GT3 series here at the Nurburgring. And Tice leading the way. Black pulling away now from Splash in 2nd. Splash there in 3rd. Marcello in 4th. Really died down a little bit in terms of the on-track action for battling. Petrolhead will try and gain on the back of Viper. We can see the run out wide there from Petrolhead, losing the time. And Viper running up the hill. 5th position. And Petrolhead currently in 6th. Doug has dropped off. And Doug actually under attack from Reds. Reds now to the outside line. I wonder if Doug's made a mistake. Reds to the outside line. Doug is very late on the brakes. Reds tries to force his way past there in the BMW. But now Doug into the pit lane. So Doug into the pit lane. Both him and Reds, I think, are on the same or similar strategy, I think. So it's going to be quite close between those two as they come out. Reds, has he got enough fuel to get another lap in? I wonder. Doug had 15 litres of fuel when he came into the pit lane. So Reds there in 7th. Petrolhead still trying to get onto the back of Viper to try and retake that position, of course, for 5th. But it's that man there, Tice, leading the way, 11.9 seconds out on track. And Black in 2nd, Splash in 3rd, Marcello in 4th position. Viper 5th, Petrolhead in 6th, Reds in 7th. We are now halfway through, Hellraiser at 8th. And then Doug's now 10th behind Bullfish Dollars. Bull was actually undercut Doug. Bull 9th. Doug 10th and Tap in 11th. Tice then. In the way, 11.5 seconds. You can see the gap being whittled away. I think, personally, if I was in Tice's shoes, I'd pit it in this lap. Well, he has to pit in this lap, otherwise he'd be running into the red and hopefully, and for Black certainly, he'd be running out of fuel. But Tice, now up the hill. Once again, 11.5 seconds. Is that enough of a gap to come out of in the lead of the race? Remains to be seen. I think with the more fuel that he has, but he's staying out another lap. It's Tice. No, he's not. He's coming into the pit lane. You dirty, dirty bugger coming into the pit lane that late. Tice into the pit lane from the lead of the race. I think Black's going to be out in front. And I'll tell you why. Because Tice has got 5 laps of fuel in that car. Black, when he came into the pit lane, had something like 15. So I think Black is going to have the race lead. And looking at the fuel, I think Tice is going to be down to 3rd as well. Black then, there. Tice is only coming out of the pit lane now. He's behind Splash. So Tice, that strategy, that 3-stop, not working at all. And he's now has got to try and fight off the tensions in behind a Viper, who is on a very, very similar strategy as him, even if he pits a few minutes earlier. But Black now leading the way. Swede from the Brit in 2nd of Splash. Splash, I think, has really came of age once again. Tice there in 3rd with Viper in 4th, Marcello in 5th, Hellraiser in 6th, Bullfish Star 7th, Petrolhead in 8th, Doug in 9th, Reds in 10th, and there is Doug in fact. He is showing us 9th on my screen. There's Reds in 10th and there's Tap in 11th position. Got confused for a minute there. Black leading the way by 3 seconds. Splash 11 second. Tice there in third. Viper just serving up a penalty there. Running down the hill in towards turn number 7. Just the hairpin, of course, out on track. Marcello 5th. Harris is 6th. Just trying to see if there's any sort of battle that's happening. Red's trying to catch Doug as a half a battle, I think. The second the gap. As you see, pulling to the right hand side, there's Petrolhead. He's clearly serving up a penalty, and now Doug will go on by for 8th. And Doug, rightfully so, I think, cuts across him just to make sure that Petrolhead doesn't try his old antics or try goes down the inside line. Red's having a bit of a moment there as we run on board through the hairpin, and now Doug getting hounded by Petrolhead. He's going to be the quicker driver at this point. Doug has got less fuel to burn, which is an advantage for that. Petrolhead now, with Red's catching as well and behind, could be a three-way battle for 8th here. That's the only battle really that we can cover, so currently out on track. So Bo 7th, Doug 8th, Petrolhead in 9th, and here comes the Brit on the back of his fellow countryman. Petrolhead in the Jag against Doug in the Mercedes. Launched it down the inside line. Not sure if there was a bit of a tap there, possibly. But Bull 7th, Doug 8th, Petrolhead in 9th. Red's now run on the back of Petrolhead in 10th position. Come out wide. Red's really driving the car aggressively through the final corner of the Coca-Cola curve. And there, the timings now fix themselves. Doug is 8th, Petrolhead in 9th, Red's in 10th. I think I said that before, but I'll say it again. Petrolhead diving down the inside line there. Much quicker to take the inside line, I think. If you get the corner right, it's much quicker to take that inside line. Coming through turn 1, because you're not losing as much ground if you go wide out, deep into the corner. Now, Red is trying to put what I've just said there, now under pressure to Petrolhead. Petrolhead catches the wall, I think, there, slightly. And now Red's right on the back of him. Can the American get the move done on the Brit? Down in towards turn 5? No. Petrolhead stays in 9th. Red's in 10th. Reds will try around the outside though. Putting Petrolhead under a lot of pressure. Rightfully so. Red's really caught my eye, certainly in recovery terms in this race. He was last. He was 12th. He was spun through lap 1. And to get to the back of Doug and to the back of Petrolhead and probably be on the same strategy as them as well, while running wide, coming through the hairpin, it's a really good performance from Reds, and hopefully we'll be able to see more of him in the last 2 weeks of the racing here in the SRS GT3 series as well. But it is Black who leads the way. There he is. 5.3 seconds, and now a battle for second now develops. The Splash is right on the back of Tice, and Tice, of course, was behind Splash, so Tice has actually got the move done, which we've missed. So Tice is throwing it up into second, Splash into third. I wonder if that was on the run up toward the hairpin, possibly, where they got that move done. So Tice is throwing it up into second, and now tries to hunt down Black. It's 5 seconds the gap. Big advantage for Tice is he's got fresher tyres than Black, and he's eating, chomping like a crocodile. At this point, I'm not sure if they get crocodiles in the Netherlands, but you never know. Black leading the way, Tyson second, Splash in third, like a fourth. And there's Marcello in 5th, Marcello on for a good top 5 finish. Heves is 6th, Bo in 7th. Still this battle rages on for 8th, 9th and 10th, which is the one we'll continue to ride on board with now. That is Doug, Petrolhead and Reds. There was a lot of tyre squealing from there from Petrolhead. There's now Reds tries to get the move done. Down in towards turn 5 once again. Red still on the back of Petrolhead. Right on board with the BMW. See his lap time there, 153.3. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not, but here comes the American. This is accurate, and this is live on board with them. Reds to the outside line. Can he go around the outside? Petrolhead will try and defend. Gives him room. Reds around the outside of the hairpin. Petrolhead cuts him short. Skull always going to be left out to dry, and Reds into the wall. Petrolhead, I think, had the advantage of being into the corner. Reds tried to go around the outside of him. Petrolhead on the inside line. Bit of a 50-50. It's always going to be off the camber of the corner. You're always going to be going left out of a right-handed corner, especially through a hairpin like that. That is so unfortunate out on track for Petrolhead and for Reds. Reds, got to feel sorry for him. He was just basically hung out to dry. on the outside. Petrolhead had pretty much the full width of the track to himself to move right. He didn't, but you never know what will happen. Now on the back of Doug, regardless, in 8th and 9th, still they are. As they come through the right-hander of the final corner. Bo in 7th, there he is, just in camera shot. There's Doug in 8th, and there's Petrolhead in 9th, 1 second off the back. Yeah, Voltrite, I've got to agree, to be honest. He could have given him a little bit more room, but as I say, you're always going to be hung out to dry through that hairpin, regardless if you're in first, regardless if you're battling for the lead of the race, or regardless if you're battling for the wooden spoon. Out on track, I think you're always going to be short of room coming out of the corner, because essentially the car is you're trying to control the car to go right, but then the car goes left, fix it out, especially if you get caught in that curb. It's quite lethal, and that's what it seemed to me, certainly that incident was. But it will be investigated, of course, after this race, and it will be somebody else than me investigating the action, I've got to be honest. So that's positive anyways. I don't want to be giving out harsher penalties than necessary. Bo's on the back of Hairraiser. Hairraiser 6th, Bo in 7th. These guys are trying to save up fuel, I think. They're going to be coming into pit this lap. Gap to the lead, by the way, looks about 3 seconds. Yeah, 3.5. Black to Ty. Splash is now dropping back, and Splash, I think, will be into the pit lane in this lap as well. Oh, he continues on, at least for another lap. Viper in 4th. Marcello in 5th. Marcello's right on the back now of Viper, actually. And now through the final corner, Marcello on the back gets an insane run. Running off the final corner, now down the straight. Viper's going to cut across. Wants to give him a lot of room. It's not going to give him that much room to get the move done around the outside of turn 1. But Marcello is very late on the brakes. Tries to go around the outside line. He'll switch it back to the inner. And now Viper is going to be a sitting duck on the outside line through turn 2. Marcello tries to fight it all the way around the outside. Viper does well though. Viper hangs on. But now Marcello's on the inside line coming into turn 3. This should be job done. Marcello's through and he's up into 4th. Really good driving between them both. And Marcello uses his instincts there to great effect. Viper now is still on the back of him. He could try and come back at him. Certainly down towards the turn 7 hairpin. But for now, Marcello's through and he's up into 4th, Viper down to 5th, but really good action between them both. Really good one-to-one racecraft there as well between them and Marcello, because Viper's run out wide, will hold 4th position running down into the hairpin. Really good stuff. Viper's taking a lot of hits actually on that front left. He's just locking up, and you can see there, especially going through the hairpin, he just locks up. That front left is looking really, really worn at this stage in the race, for my liking certainly. And now Petrolhead is right on the back of Doug. Can he give a driver more room running into the hairpin this time, I wonder? No, because Doug holds on to the position for 6th. Petrolhead in 7th. Petrolhead is on the back. He runs out wide. And that's what would have happened, I think, if there wasn't a car there on the outside line. And Petrolhead would have still lost the car, because he's been struggling through that corner through this race. And he'll probably argue that point with Reds later on. And, yeah. I think definitely more spatial awareness, I think, is what we both can agree on. I think we'll try to, after that. Splash, though, into the pit lane from 3rd. The Splash into the pit lane. 19 minutes to go. Black leading the way from Tyson 2nd. It's 2 seconds the gap for the lead of the race. Tyson's got more fuel than Black. This is going to be quite close, actually. If Tyson can still eat into the advantage compared to Black ahead of him, this is going to come down to the right old wire. So Black leading Tyson 2nd, Marcello 3rd. Splash is out of the pit lane in 4th. Petrolhead now on the back of Doug. Will be for 5th as they come out the pit lane. Viper there is to the right-hand side. He's going to come out right in the middle of these two, I think. Doug, Petrolhead into the back of him, never getting that car stopped. And at least Petrolhead is waiting up for him. That's good sportsmanship shown there. Just a complete and utter outbreak, I think, from Petrolhead. Simple as that. And Viper would have been, I think, in 7th at that point. But now, because of Doug and because of Petrolhead coming into contact, he's now through and he's in a clear out and he's into 5th. So Doug 6th, Petrolhead in 7th. Petrolhead just cocking up his braking point. That's literally the bread and butter of what I can put it as, that, to be honest. Petrolhead behind him, in 7th. And hopefully he will try and get the move done. And not run into the back of him as Doug runs out wide. And this is going to be Petrolhead's opportunity now. Try and get the move done. But actually, Doug's carried the speed right after running out wide there. The camera angle might have been hard to deceive. But Doug defends. Oh my goodness me, that is a great defensive move. Down and through the hairpin. Doug's really struggling with the car, and Petrolhead now through. Petrolhead's through and he's up into 6th position. Doug's through and he's up into 7th. I think that was the case of Doug just losing the car. And maybe the fronts are going on that car. And Petrolhead 6th, Doug in 7th. Tice has had the advantage of the Mercedes, but look, it's a Mercedes ahead of him. I think Tice is just a quicker driver tonight, if I've got to be honest. He's leading, he's in behind Black. It's 1.5 seconds. He's eaten into the advantage about 5/10 a lap. 55.7 last time around from Black. 55 flat from Tice, actually. So he's actually eaten the advantage more out on track. KK Doc, totally agree. I think he got distracted by Viper coming out the pit lane. Very difficult as well, especially when you get a car coming out the pit lane. You try and move across, you try and get the move done, and that's why the outbreak we saw from Petrolhead now means he's down through and he's up into 6th position, as that is Viper that has spun at the final corner. Not sure what happened there. And Viper has spun halfway down the straight. I wonder if he lost it out the final corner, tried to recover the car, and then went into the pit wall. That was very strange. Viper then 5th, Petrolhead 6th, Doug in 7th, Reds in 8th. Pretty strange going on there. Oh, there's a tap. Battle for the lead though. Tice against Black. 1.1 seconds. So we have now reached 8 o'clock. We've got 15 minutes worth of racing just over to go. Black leading the way from Tice in 2nd, and Tice really beginning to hound the back of Black. If I was being Tice at this point, I'd follow the car ahead. I'd follow him into the pit lane. He's got 15 seconds over Marcello. He's got more fuel than him. He could be within a chance of coming out in the race lead is Tice, if he was to decide to come in when Black pits in. And I think Black is in now. Tice stays out. No, he's in! Tice is in! Tice is in. That is a very late go into the pit entry there. 13 litres of fuel, 6 litres of fuel. I think Tice is going to gain about half a second, maybe, coming out the pit lane here. This is going to be a race right to the flag. Who is going to be the quicker driver on quicker tyres and with a whole load of fuel at their disposal to really, really make a go of this race? And that now means Marcello could be in the lead of the race, actually, when he comes out of the pit lane. And do you know what? What I said there, with them coming out about 5/10 of a second, with Tice gaining 5/10 of a second, it's not the case because Black has underfueled significantly compared to Tice. And now that puts Black into a scenario, fuel saving. And now Marcello is right on the back. This is a perfect opportunity now for Tice to try and have a go at both Marcello. If Marcello can gain on Black, that's going to be the big sticking point. If he can gain on Black, and now really promotes Tice into a really good fight for this win. Black though leading. More time like Black gains. A bit of a moment there from Tice. Black leading 1.7 seconds as the advantage between 1st and 3rd at this stage of the race. Marcello 2nd, Tice in 3rd. Really good race this has been so far. A late but good decision, I think. He might have actually listened to the commentator, to be honest, I think, on that KK. He might have listened to me. I literally said about 10 seconds before he came into the pit lane, he should make the decision and follow the guy in front. And that's exactly what he did. That could be a race-winning move, but Black, you know how quick he is. He's got less fuel than him, which is going to be advantage shorter term, but longer term, he's going to be saving up fuel. Is Tice going to be saving up fuel towards the end of the race as well, is the main question. Money is on Tice. And now, Marcello is there in 2nd and is giving Tice, he's just backed off and is giving Tice now the slipstream running up the hill. Not a bad position to be in, I think, if you're in Marcello's suit, because you've got Tice ahead of him. Tice then, Marcello is into the pit lane. Tice then now freed up into 2nd, and now it's a straight fight. 1.6 seconds as they come across the line to start lap 24 out on track. Black leading the way from Tice in 2nd, Marcello in 3rd, Splash in 4th, and really doing a good job out on track. Palmer saying he's acting as a racing engineer for Tyson Marcello. That's probably why he channeled his own James Bowles there and went in. Remember that in Germany, Hockenheim? Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened there with Tyson coming into the pit lane very late on indeed. Now, Splash third, Marcello fourth, Viper fifth. Reds is there. Doug has had another spin, I think, out on track. He's now behind Hair Razor, which I've just clicked on. And now Reds is going to be coming out in this gaggle of cars. I think he'll be behind these guys when he comes out of the pit lane. And yeah, unlike the Petrolhead Viper Doug scenario, Reds is going to be coming out behind these guys. And that's, I think, what Viper should have done. Not to enact a little bit of a collision between them both. 12 minutes to go. Black leading. Tyson second. Then it's Splash in third possession. Position, even. That's me. If he was in possession, then we would have been commentating on FIFA rather than GT Sport. Black leading the way. 1.8 seconds. What would you guys do in the comment section at this point in the race if you were either Black or if you were either Tice? If you were Black's choice, what would you do? Would you be trying to pull out that gap as much as possible and then put Tice under a little bit of pressure later on in the race? Or if you were Tice, would you just push, waste away the fuel, and then try and go for the win? Find out. Let's find out in the comment section, see what you guys would do in them scenarios. Just looking in behind, Hair Razor, Doug, Reds, all separated by about 2 seconds out on track, so it could prove to be quite an interesting battle for 8th, 9th and 10th. As we see coming through there, Hair Razor in 8th. Hair Razor should be going to the pit lane later on. Or should be continuing on in this race, I should say. Doug now catching in 9th. Reds in 10th, of course, both in Costa Racing, so they're going to be picking up a good haul of points regardless, I think. As Reds, 1.1 seconds off. He's got limited fuel, but what can he do to try and gain on the likes? Tap is still continuing, by the way. Full credit to Tap for still continuing on. He's in 11th position. Might not be the quickest driver, but he's certainly one of the most gung-ho drivers on the grid, I've got to be honest, in terms of his performances, and it's really good to see out on track that he's still continuing and still picking up the points. Black makes a slight mistake coming out the hairpin, and that puts Tice now nearly 2/10 more inferior to Black. 1.3 seconds is the gap. Tice is on a mission. Tice now, let's run on board with him. Put more pressure on the driver, and let's run on board with him out on track. It's 1.1 seconds. You can see the physical close of that gap. Tice is going for this. Black is reserving something back for the end of the race, I feel. But Black leading the way. Here's Tice. Up the straight, 1.1 seconds into the chicane once again. Brakes at the 100-metre board, doesn't want to overcommit. It's beautiful braking there from Tice. 1.3, 1.2, gap fluctuates still. They're miles ahead now of Splash. He's going to be finishing in third at this point. Marcello is gaining though. Marcello is gaining on fresher tyres. And he's now beginning to gain as well. We could see one TSR man and 2 SMM guys right on this podium at the end of the race. So let's remain calm for now. It's a second, the gap. Black leading from Tyson second. Splash in third, Marcello fourth. Marcello's doing a really good job in fourth. The Italian trying to hunt down the Brit ahead. Is the Brit going to be robbed of his podium? He was nearly robbed of it 2 weeks ago in Bathurst when I decided I needed to give him a 5-second time penalty for an incident that was really not his fault at all. He then got a racing incident, which didn't affect the result at all, and got his first podium. Can he be on for second podium out on track? Or can Marcello nick that away? Marcello now, 0.8 of a second away, will continue to run on board with that Tice and Black battle as well, and it's 0.8 of a second between the front two as well. This is now coming down to a crescendo moment here in the Nurburgring. And with 8 minutes to go, we'll be about 7 minutes to the end of the race when they come across the line, probably just more than that. Black leading the way, Tyson second. Tice is gunning for this. Tice wants this. Black wants this. And I think Tice has responded in the best way best form out on track as well. He's responding to Black in the best way, in the best shape, and that's because of pace. And he's now 7/10 of a second away, and now within the slipstream, he begins to close in. Marcello is really on the back now of Splash as well, and Splash is really under pressure from Marcello. The fresher tyres are coming into play for the Italian in the Mercedes. Splash runs onto the grass slightly. Here's Marcello's opportunity now to come at him up the hill and towards the chicane at 13 and 14. Bit of a late break. Splash holds on, but Marcello is wanting this. Splash gets caught on the curb. Tyson not close enough to the back of Black, running down in towards turn 1. I can see it on the mini-map there. As now Marcello tries to find the way out the final corner. Really good stuff. Splash now leading for Marcello. 3rd, 4th position out on track. And now Marcello to the outer line. Can he try and get the move done? He's right around the outside. Very late on the brakes. Marcello tries to go all the way around the outside. Can he get the move done? This will be insane if he can get the move done. Now on the inside line through turn 2. He's going to be hung out to dry. He taps Splash out wide. And that is Marcello through. And he's up into 3rd position. Really, really good racing there between Marcello and Splash. And Marcello's through and he's up into 3rd. Splash now through and he's up down to 4th. Really good racing out on track. Marcello 3rd, Splash in 4th. As Marcello through, fights his way through on the back. 1.2 seconds now is the gap between Black and Tyson. I think Black has responded. 1.1 seconds from Tyson there in 2nd. And Black really beginning to try and put Tice under a bit of pressure. 6 minutes to go out on track. Yeah, Tice on Black slipstream. It's now not the case that he's on the back of the slipstream, in fact. I think Black has now used up just that little bit more fuel. I think he knows now, he's calculated up in his head probably, that he can get to the end on that fuel. He can get to the end, 25 litres of fuel. It's going to be close. It might be the case where he has to run fuel mode 1, fuel mode 2. But he's gone for it this lap. And if he's holding something back or not, he's really going for it now. Black now leading. Tyson 2nd. Yeah, Black is pulling away now, isn't he? 1.5 seconds. Responds, new fastest lap of the race as well. Black, with a new fastest lap of the race, steals 13 hundredths off Marcello's time. And now Black leads the way at 1.5 seconds. 1.5 seconds around this track is very, very cushy indeed, I think. Black from Tice. Then Marcello in 3rd. I think Marcello now is on for 3rd, if I've got to be honest. Looking further down the field, Petrolhead trying to get on the back of both for Shadara. We saw this battle, of course, in Sardinia between these two. And the Jag, closing up to the back of the Audi. You would favour the Jag at this point for 6th and 7th position. Doug there in 8th, Red in 9th. Red is on the back of him as well. I don't think he's going to be close enough. Here is Petrolhead, though, on the back of Bo. Running down the straight. Audi against Jag. I think the Audi's just got the legs on this occasion. 0.4 of a second as they come down and towards turn 1. Bowl 6th, Petrolhead in 7th. Petrolhead managing to get his braking point fixed after he ran into the back, of course, of Doug. And yeah, Petrolhead, Black, sorry, might not have enough fuel to get to the end of the race. He might be fuel saving, might be a case of 1 on, 1 off, to be honest, in terms of fuel saving. Petrolhead and Bull don't need to worry about that. I mean, it's 4 minutes to go, and these guys have got over 25 litres of fuel. Bull runs out wide. Petrolhead still 7th. There's Black, there's Tice. 1.1 seconds. Tice has got just over 25 litres of fuel. Black, I would say, has got about 20 litres of fuel. So actually, I think both of them are fine in terms of the fuel. T5 is just not normal. Insane how he can manage from fuel saving and still be fast to just give it all. Mind-blowing. It is absolutely mind-blowing. And that is why he is potentially going to be crowned our SRS GT3 champion here tonight. I will do the maths after this, but I am certain, I'm nearly certain, I think he's won the championship here. Because of Palmer's non-finish. I think Black has won the championship here. Correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody please do the maths for me in the next 3 minutes and 20 seconds or so to make sure I'm right first of all and that you're right and you're getting the right points as well. Black leading by a second. Tice is now really beginning to push. Fires out wide, coming through 4 and 5. Really attacking. Takes a wide out line. Gains the speed though off the corner. Black, though, 1.1 seconds in front. 1.1 seconds is going to be very, very difficult going into... it's going to be very difficult, I think, to try and overtake. And remember, 34 points for... It's 38 points, I think, coming into tonight, if I'm not mistaken, between Black and Palmer. 184 to 146. In my eyes, it's 38 points. Correct me if I'm wrong. 38 points. So if he gains 34, it's a 72-point advantage. Plus a point possibly for fastest lap, it's 73 points. There's 68 points essentially out on the table for the final races. 70 points to be included. I think Black's champion by 2 points. If I'm not mistaken. I think Black is champion by 2 points. We have got, I think, one more lap to go after this one. So this will be it. This will be the final lap of the race. And TSR T5 Black could be on his way with Palmer's non-finish to a championship that he has just really dominated. 1.5 seconds is the gap. 1.7 now. I think Tice knows. Tice knows. And Black rounding the final corner, what will be for the penultimate time. Onto the final lap of the race we go, and Black leads 1.8 seconds from Tice in second. If the car was to blow up now, if he was to run out of fuel, it'd be the only way really that'll save Palmer's chances of getting the championship. But Black leading the way, Tice in second, Marcello in third. Yep, so I think, as I say, 38 points plus 34 is 72. It'll be about a 73-point advantage, I think he has over Palmer. So now, Black, you're looking at a potential champion here tonight. He's only got 3/4 of a lap to go. Black, 2 seconds out in front, from Tyson second, Marcello in third. Final 2 races, by the way, is going to be quite interesting, I think, between Black and Palmer still. We get those battles between them both, and he gets his wheel fixed. We're going to be in for a sensational end to the season. But now Black running down the hill for the final time here at the Nurburgring. And it has been one of the drives, a championship-winning drive from Black. As Tice has made a mistake, he's now dropping off a second. And Marcello, in fact... I think Tice is waiting up for Marcello. Tice is waiting up for Marcello. I think Marcello might get second here. I think that's what Tice is doing. Maybe slowing up, or he's just made a mistake. I'm not sure. Black, though, running the final half of the lap. Coming through the right-hander of turn 12. Now running through 13. Now running through 12, in fact. That was 11, now through 12. And Black round into the chicane for the final time. Let's run on board with him as he takes on board the chicane for the final time. He runs out wide. It's not the greatest entry through there. But Black coming now round the final corner. Season 1, it went to him. And now it's Season 2 again. T5 Black rounding the final corner is your SRS GT3 Series champion for Season 2. Tice finishes in second. A great performance from him. He just didn't have the pace in the last stint. Marcello rounding the final corner. Fantastic performance from Marcello to finish in third. Splash then finishing in fourth. Everyone will come across the line. Back-to-back championships for Black. Splash rounding the final corner. He floors it out the final corner. And now Viper is coming. And Viper and Splash having a bit of an old moment there coming across the line to finish in fourth and fifth. They're in the same party together, definitely. Splash fourth, Viper fifth. But for Shadara's fall off the attention of the Petrolhead late on, and he's going to be finishing in sixth. Bill ran the final corner, finishing sixth. Really good performance from him. Petrolhead caught up in a little bit of a melee with Doug, but he finishes across the line in seventh. Reds with a penalty, comes across the line in eighth. That, however, will go to Doug, I believe, if we promote him up. Hairraiser, Tap, by the way, got lapped. He's across the line in 11th. And Hairraiser across the line in 10th. To finish off what has been a really crazy race, to be honest. Out on track. T5 Black takes the win. Tyson second and Marcello in third. Round 7 of Season 2 complete. And there is Black, your 2-time SRS GT3 Series champion. Pole position, fastest lap, clean race. What's not to like? He gets the Grand Slam out on track. And what I'm going to do is hopefully, if I've got a part, I'm sure I've interviewed these three before, I'm going to try and find another party that I can join that has got all 3 of them in, which would be fantastic. So I'm going to leave this one now. You'll still hear me commentating, I hope. I'll go into that one. Why not? Let's go into that one. The top 3, of course, will come in. Palmer, of course, as well, is in this. He might come in for a few words at the end. But what an insane race. Absolutely insane. And I wonder if the news has actually hit everyone out on track. Because I know the ramifications of the championship. But we'll wait for everyone to join our party very soon. Hopefully they have got the notification that I've just set this one up. And we have now been joined. I'm not sure if he knows it, but I know it. It's the 2-time SRS GT3 Series champion. It's T5 Black, who took the win out on track. And Black, another dominating performance from you. First of all, how was the race?
I did get a pretty bad start. I did jump the start, so I did get 2.5 seconds penalty, I think. From that point, it was just head down and, yeah, drive as fast as I could.
Were you, I think on lap 1, you were something like 9th, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Or 6th, 7th.
Yeah, yes, 6, 7, yeah.
Yeah, it was
5,
Palmer
6,
that was
7,
9th, I apologise.
Yeah. Palmer was behind me, so maybe 8 then.
Yeah, Palmer, I think, fell down to 9th after the first lap. I think he got caught up in the melee off the start. But
yeah,
just talk us through that race, because that start for you, certainly getting that 2.5 second penalty, how did you come back from that?
First of all, I need to apologize if I was a bit aggressive, but I need to make my way through the people that might be slower than me. Yeah, some of them, yeah, they
the
was
people
nice.
that might be slower.
Yeah. Yeah, some of them was very nice and just did let me pass. But yeah, it was a great race. It was fun for once to work my way up in the field. Yeah.
Did you feel in that last pit stop where obviously Tice followed you in, did you feel that you would have the advantage carried through to the end of the race?
No, I did fuel save, massive. And when I did see him come in with much fuel, more fuel than I had, yeah, I was a bit worried. And I starting to think I took not as much fuel that I should have. Starting fuel save, using fuel map 2 and 3, and in the down straights, and in the just map 1 in the uphills.
I thought you were going to say more, sorry.
No, I didn't expect to get the fastest lap at all, but I needed to push for some point there when Kite, yeah, he catch me.
I think Marcello's not going to be happy with you, because I'm sure you stole that fastest lap off him by about 1300ths of a second.
Yeah, but the lap before, I did the exact same lap time that his fastest lap was. So, yeah, I tried to push as hard as I can.
Yeah, and being a 2-time champion now, it's been confirmed that you're now 2-time champion. Ooh. Just talk us through what it means to you to defend your championship in grand style like that.
To be honest, it means a lot because this series, SRS Series Season 2, will be my last season in every league on Gran Turismo Sport. because I have buy myself a PC and gone over to Assetto Corsa Competizione, and we're doing some great league racing on that one. So this means a lot for me. Yeah.
Well, that's a shame. I think it came as a bit of a shock to everyone, I think, that you're going to be leaving us. But Assetto Corsa, I think, is probably the way that everyone is going to go eventually, I think. Certainly within the sim racing world, and I credit you for moving over to PC as well. It's going to be fantastic to see how you're going to get on, your progress is going to get on. We've got 2 more races to look forward to, though, on the GT Sports side. First of them being the Red Bull Ring next week. How do you think you're going to get on?
I do love rain races. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be slidey. The car is gonna go wide. I'm gonna go do 360s and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to a Red Bull Ring. To be honest, yeah.
Just hope we don't get a repeat of the start like we did tonight. No. Especially in the wet.
It depends where I start on the grid. Yeah, I cannot promise anything.
We'll have to wait and find out, I think. Thank you, Black. We'll move on then to Tice, who finished in 2nd position. And Tice, it was a fantastic race from you. You were leading for most of it. What happened?
I think like T5 just got me on fuel and strategy in the last stint. I took a lot of fuel in, which in hindsight was a bit too much. I think I lost most of that because of that.
Yeah, I think because Black was running less fuel than you, I think, ahead of you. I said when you came into the pit lane that you could gain about half a second. You lost about 2 seconds because of that. Was that really the race-changing move from you trying to catch him up?
That was.
And that's a shame. That's just racing, though, at the end of the day. And obviously, strategies go awry and things like that. It cannot be stopped. But from a positive point of view, though, 2nd and 3rd for both you and Marcello, for Sidemax certainly, must give you a lot of confidence, given that Palmer was having issues with his throttle pedals and his wheel. It must fill a little bit of let, I think, and give him something back, at least, out of this race.
Yeah, I mean, it was a hard race for like the whole team with the rather weird start that we had, and just the way the whole race went. I'm happy to at least have 2nd place here and 3rd place.
Yeah, fantastic 2nd place as well, and obviously Red Bull Ring next week. How do you think you're going to get on?
Well, most of the time I'm quite good in the rain. Like last season I couldn't try because of the incident in the last corner. I hope to get redemption this time. Redemption.
Like it. Yeah, I think you might get it next week. You never know what can happen here in the SRS GT3 series. Thank you, Tice. We'll now move on, of course, to Marcello, who finished in 3rd position. And Marcello, really good performance from you. In the end, I was predicting you for top 5, I think. How did you end up 3rd?
Pretty simple. I think I had pretty good pace. I was feeling good going into this race, but you know, I think obviously it's a great result. You know, the podium is always my target going into every race. It's, you know, the least that I should do personally. So, and you know, it's frustrating because I think without the incident at the start, which was really no one's fault, because I mean I was just driving my normal line. Bo was, you know, he just spun. You know, you can't do anything about it. I think I could have definitely been in the mix with Tice and T5 for even the race win. So yeah, it's a bit frustrating, but still, you know, it's a 3rd place. It could have been less than that. So I'll take these points, and I'll take a lot of positives as well from this race. I think I had a pretty good pace.
Yeah, a lot of positives to take out of that race as well, and I think you now move ahead of Seal as well within the championship battle for 5th. That must fill you up to try and gain on Splash, who's 4th, and probably about 20 odd points ahead of you going into the final 2 races.
I think it's definitely possible to get that 4th place, which is really the best that I can do in this championship, considering that I joined when I missed 3 races in total, I believe. So yeah, it's going to be my motivation and my drive for the next 2 races. And I mean, it's good to have, you know, a target to aim for. You know, if I was going to sit in 4th place by myself, too far away from my teammates, or too far ahead of my other opponents, I wouldn't feel as motivated. So yeah, I'm going into this into the next 2 races with something to aim for, which is definitely very important for me.
Yeah, Red Bull Ring next up. How do you think you're going to get on?
Is it going to rain?
Is it going to rain, Tice?
Yay.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Well, I really don't know what to expect. I think the track itself, I feel pretty comfortable around it. In the dry, I was pretty quick in the daily races this week around there, which is probably a little bit irrelevant, but but still. But you know, in the wet, I really don't know what to expect. I don't have great memories about Red Bull Ring in the wet. If you remember the team versus team event a couple of months ago, I was running on the podium and then I just spun with 2 laps to go. So, but hopefully, you know, I can get at least a podium, and if I have a good enough pace, I want to aim for that win. It's going to be, you know, I really want to get that race win before the end of the season. So I'm going to aim for that for sure.
Race win could be on the cards for you next week. Thank you to Black, thank you to Tyson, thank you to Marcello for all of your interviews here tonight. And that rounds us off for tonight. The first race of 2021 was a one to behold, and it was Black, who was crowned 2-time SRS GT3 Series champion. And of course, Season 3 is going to be a bit different because we're moving to the MX-5. It's completely different. GT3s from about 140 mile an hour down to MX-5s, which can hardly reach 100 mile an hour at the best of times. But it's going to be a really exciting season, and we're going to see you, of course, for Season 3, and indeed next week for the Red Bull Ring as well. So for myself, James Head, and from these lovely 3 that have joined me in the commentary box for their interviews, thank you so much for tuning in. Please stay safe, please stay healthy in this crazy world that we still live in. Even if it's a new year, we still are not through the worst of the coronavirus just yet. Thank you so much for watching. I've been James Head. See you next week. Goodbye.